Hey, so I want to ask Kyle a question, dude. Why did you stop making videos of you shooting shit?
A lot of reasons, right? Like,
Just, I'm curious. I loved watching you blow shit up. I thought it was fucking cool.
Oh yeah, it's a great.
overhead's crazy for one thing. Like the overhead for making one of the videos, and now with YouTube monetization, demonetization, that makes it real hard. I've always had like rules and regulations imposed on me that no other like gun YouTube channel had imposed on them with the licensing that I had to have. So like, if Arnold Schwarzenegger is making another Terminator movie, they don't say, "Hey Arnold, you need a federal explosives license." He's like, "Oh, we've got the guy. He comes and he's has the license, and I shoot the fake gun." He doesn't need a fucking license, but they tell me that I do, and so there's just years of licensing that I've been going through to try to like get enough license to be able to do the kind of videos that I want to make, because I don't want to make shitty videos. Like I like blowing up cars that are 40 yards away from me and having shrapnel flying around, and you can't do that without an explosive license. And so yeah, bunch of reasons.
What if you just uploaded the video without getting the license? You
Could
just
get in
bought
legal
the shit.
trouble. Getting like serious legal trouble. Like they could come after me for
Yeah.
for
Would they actually though? Like, they
Yeah.
have better shit to do.
No,
Yeah.
they don't. Yeah, they absolutely see. That's what I'm talking about with them, like zeroing in on me when they don't other YouTubers. Like I've been warned by like federal agencies and like district attorneys and stuff that like don't do this or we'll come and get you. You know, like so they're very serious about it. So just can't. But I have some plans for next year that are going to be pretty interesting.
I mean, where do you even buy like a fucking RPG or like a big ass tank or some shit? Like, where do you get that?
It depends on what you're talking about. So, like I've never done an RPG. I've got a law rocket launcher that shoots training rounds. They're 37 millimeter law rockets with a little bit of explosive in them. I got that from a collector. The rockets are hard to find, but I know one of the few guys in the country that has a supply of them. They're $250 a shot. I've shot 4 of them before. I think it's pretty fucking expensive. With a tank, though, the laws around tanks are interesting. Like, if the tank doesn't have a live firing cannon in it, then it's just a vehicle, right? It's just a big car or a big truck. So, there's collectors, these millionaire dudes who are like aficionados, collectors of World War II stuff. And, like I said, they're millionaires. So they just collect tanks. Most of them don't have live firing tanks, but I know a guy who has live firing tanks. And to do that, first you have to have enough money to buy like a $300,000 Sherman tank or whatever from Easy 8. And then you have to get yourself that license that I'm talking about. And then you have to get another license, a Type 10 manufacturer of destructive devices license, which is very difficult to get. I've had one. And so then you have to make that tank a live breach. You have to rebuild, because you can't just go buy a new cannon for a tank. You have to have an engineer come in who's an expert at this sort of thing and fabricate a cannon for you. And then you have to produce your own explosive shells, which requires both the Type 10 and the federal explosive license in conjunction, working together. So a lot of hoops to jump through.
That sounds like way too complicated.
A lot easier to just go out on the street and be like, all right, we got some hobos here. We're going to pay them to eat hot peppers. So,
I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I've shot guns on my stream illegally before. Like, we'll just shoot guns like in a park somewhere, and nobody gives a shit. Like, I've never gotten like shit for that. So,
Yeah, maybe don't roll those dice again.
I've like shot fireworks like off like roofs and shit, like in the middle of the street and shit. Like, I don't know, nobody seems to care. But I guess it's different. Like, I'm not using a tank blowing a car up, but
yeah, tanks are fun. Tanks are fun because it's like I liked the History Channel growing up as a kid, like before it became Rednecks and Aliens or whatever the fuck it is now. Yeah. So like I'm really interested in like World War II history and like to be able to like get down into one of those World War II tanks and like it's all the same way it was for like those poor fucking guys that went off and fought the Nazis. And it's just, holy shit, this is all like the same way it was back then. Like I got in a Russian armored personnel carrier and the gauges glow in the dark. And today they use an element called tritium to make things light up like that, or they just use electronics or something like that, or they use fiber optics and stuff to light up the gauges. Back then they used radium, which is a radioactive element that's active it's so when I'm looking at the gauges of this armor personnel carrier glowing in the dark while I'm in it, all shut up with the hatch closed, it's glowing like Homer Simpson style with radiation. So like, I don't know, that's some of my favorite shit that I've done. It's like gotten down into pieces of history like that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, but to answer your question, we're gonna do some cool things on that channel next year. I've got a lot of good ideas. I'm gonna do some stuff.
I'm excited for it